Good morning, Sweet Home. Today is Monday, February 22nd. It is a day 3. My name is Emma Zilsberger, and here are today's morning announcements.
Good morning, Panthers. It's currently 34 degrees. The high today is 37, and there's an 80% chance of snow. Have a great day.
Katherine Johnson worked for NASA from 1953 to 1986. During that time, she was instrumental in developing the flight trajectories that enabled human space flight at its very inception. Her calculations were known for their accuracy and speed, as well as their innovative approach to using geometry. Ms. Johnson was a crucial piece of John Glenn's first orbital mission in 1962. In 1967, her expertise and original thinking allowed novel uses for geometry, laying the foundations for the first human mission for the moon to be a success. Katherine Johnson continued to be a groundbreaking mathematician and computer scientist by linking up NASA's satellites to an IBM system of computers. This linkage eventually became what is now known as the Global Positioning System, or GPS, we rely on today. Her life was put to screen with the motion picture Hidden Figures, and she was given the Presidential Medal of Honor by President Obama. Katherine Johnson passed away last February, on February 24th, 2020.
Mr. Simondera from the Social Studies Department. Happy Black History Month. In 1958, the University of Buffalo football team won 8 of 9 regular season games and was awarded the Lambert Cup as the best small school program in the eastern United States. Team co-captains received the trophy during a Sunday night broadcast of the famed Ed Sullivan Show. Days later, the Bulls were invited to face Florida State in the 13th annual Tangerine Bowl in Orlando, Florida. In anticipation of their trip south, players were measured up for new sport coats at the well-known upscale store Kleinhans Company in downtown Buffalo. But before the fabric of the coats was ever cut, the university had learned that the team's 2 African-American players, starting halfback Willie Evans and reserve defensive end Mike Wilson, were not welcome in Orlando. The Orlando High School Athletic Association, the Tangerine Bowl Stadium's leaseholder, prohibited blacks and whites from playing together. Despite the protests from the Orlando Elks Lodge, the bowl game's sponsor, the Bulls would be allowed to participate only if Wilson and Evans did not play. The university and head coach Dick Offenheimer left it to the team to decide whether to accept the bid. The players gathered in a basement meeting room of Clark Gymnasium on the Buffalo campus to take a vote. The captains held small pieces of paper in their hands, but before they could pass them out, the players spontaneously and unanimously rejected the bid. The decision would shape the program, the university, and particularly the lives of the players forever. Players of the 1958 team were interviewed some 50 years later by ESPN. The team was featured on ESPN's popular weekly show, Outside the Lines. My dad, Paul Simondera Sr., was lucky enough to be on the team and remembers it well. Racism was real. Players from UB couldn't believe that this was happening. One minute, the Buffalo Evening News was making plans to help send the marching band to help escort the team to Orlando, and the next minute, someone was telling Coach and the college chancellor to leave players home. Quarterback Joe Oliverio remarked, "It's 1958, for God's sake. This is the modern world. Who thinks like this anymore?" He had seen separate white and black drinking fountains in newspaper photos and heard stories of bus boycotts in Alabama. But all that had seemed a world away. There was no discussion. Someone said, "We're not going." Someone else said, "You're darn right." And we stood together, nodded, put our arms around one another the way teammates do. Though they had walked into the room full of hurt and fear and anger, they walked out of the room and in just one word described as love. They loved one another and they loved doing the right thing and making the right choice. In the years later, the 1958 team was reunited in 2008. 50 years later, in the 2008 season, UB was offered its second invitation to a postseason bowl game, the International Bowl in Toronto, Canada. UB honored the team's decision of brotherhood by inviting the entire team to join them for the big game. all expenses paid. The 1958 team was welcomed to the pregame luncheon with the players from both UB and the University of Connecticut. Reverend Jesse Jackson was the keynote speaker. The story of the 58 Bulls was retold. During a halftime celebration, the highlight reel played on the Jumbotron while the story was told to everyone in attendance. There wasn't a dry eye in the stadium, as the players were recognized to everyone. 50 years later, impressions were made on this generation of players, fans, and community members about making tough decisions. A year later, when UB played Central Florida in an away game, school dignitaries and local government officials invited the 58 Bulls to attend, all expenses paid. In fact, my dad was taken back when traveling from the airport to the hotel. The thruway information board signs were emblazoned with the message, "Welcome back, 1958 University of Buffalo Bulls." Again, honored for their decision, Central Florida apologized for their decision. The University of Buffalo should also be recognized during Black History Month. Just a few years ago, they were the only college in the entire nation to have African Americans hold the top 3 positions in athletics. The school athletic director, head football coach, and head basketball coach all were African American. If you'd like to learn more about the 1958 UB football team, don't hesitate to check out the UB Athletic Department's webpage.
Calling all artists. Are you looking for more exposure? We want to help. Submit your drawings, stories, poems, or songs, or any other artistic creation to the Panther Eye. One submission will be selected every other week to be shared on our website and social medias. For more information or to create a submission, visit panthereye.news.